Thank you for coming back to my video again. Today, we're going to talk about a very important thing that we need to do and you will still need to do continuously whether you are a student or not for the rest of your life. So the topic for today's lesson is about evaluation. So you might actually have heard from your friends, your parents, your teachers telling you to do these things, which is to evaluate yourself whenever you are facing with challenges. Whenever you did something wrong, you would want to look back and see whatever you have done, is it correct or is it wrong? So this is one of the very important mechanisms that we need to build into ourselves in order to be able to move forward. But truth to be told, many people, they will just ignore the wrongdoings and then they just continue with life and they keep repeating the same thing over and over again. The important thing about doing this is this. Because with us growing up, there will be many challenges along the way. But the question will be, often you find that these challenges, they come to you, but you don't have time to react to them. By the time the event is over, you will find that you have already made the mistake and you might not have time or you might not bother to go back to it. And as a result of that, you let the things happen and it continue to extrapolate into something that you do not want in the future. So the question is, what is meant by looking back? Looking back is an important thing to do, but yet people just thought that, oh, okay, I look at what I have done, that this is wrong, and I will just move on from there. But the question of looking back is not to also drown yourself in emotion. A lot of people also tend to feel that, oh, I consistently have been failing. Okay, whether in my mathematics or my sciences. But the question is, you should never let yourself be drowned into the emotion. You should never think that you are a failure, because this is one thing that people will tend to do. You might not say it out loud. You might actually just be thinking of it internally. And with that, you might end up be doing this thing, which is to limit yourself. You might not think that, oh, I'm able to do it because I'm weak in mathematics. I'm always like that, so I will not be able to do it no matter how hard I try. Or some people might actually do this. They will say that, oh, it's because that my parents are not educated. None of them are a university graduate. So as the result of that, I should not be able to do it. Or my mathematics is weak. It's because that none of my parents passed their mathematics at all. So with doing that, you are setting a limit to your capability. And as a result of that, you might actually find that you will always go into the class with the mental model that, oh, I'm not able to do it because I am like my parents. I'm not able to do it. Or I have not been able to pass for many years. So not being able to pass mathematics is something that I would expect. And as a result of that, you limit yourself. The question is, what is the thing that is actually causing you these limitations? This is something that you might not have actually looked deeper into it, or you might not have found a solution to it. So the best way to do it is that just go over it and I don't want to look at it anymore. But the thing is that you should never limit yourself by telling yourself that, oh, I'm not able to do it based on your past experience. So the question, the main important thing to do is to look at yourself of the past event that you have done and exactly what are the things that lead to the failure. So with that, you take small baby steps to make the change. Once again, I find that you should never make an abrupt change, because once you make an abrupt change, you will feel very uncomfortable and then you will never get to it. The taking action is and doing something different is one of the key important factors that can help you to move over your difficulties. So the point to make to you today is that never set a limit to yourself. Especially, you should never use, oh, my parents are like that, so I will be like that, to limit yourself and say that, oh, that's the reason why I'm not able to do well. And building on this point about having a limit to yourself, one of the things that you should also constantly try to do is to evaluate your strength. This is very much like playing a game where you have different characters, and in the different characters you have different attributes. I recall when I was playing games in the past, I will select the character that I want. Some character is stronger in doing certain things, can run faster, or maybe, but on the other hand, the strength is weaker, or maybe the strength is very strong, but they will run very slowly. Yeah, games are normally a selection of characters, and then you can actually build the attribute that you really want. But this still applies to us as living human beings. For us, we are different. We are all different. We are good in certain things, but not so good in other things. Like for example, when I talk about myself, I'm not a natural speaker. I actually fear speaking in the public, and as a result of that, I have missed many opportunities to express myself. So what I do was, in the past, to hide myself in one corner, in one corner of the classroom, and then I don't talk to anybody. So this built out a barrier in front of my friends and myself. And as a result of that, I don't have many friends because I limit myself once again. I do not want to interact because I'm aware that within me, I'm not a natural speaker. I tend to say the wrong thing and I tend to offend people. This could also possibly be applicable to many of you. But the question is, what are the things that then you are good in? So you should learn to capitalize your strength instead. So in the past, I was naturally more talented in mathematics. Then what I do is that instead of talking to people, I show people, I teach people to help them to learn how to do it. So this is one of the things that helped me to build many friendships over the years. And eventually this teaching has become a talent that I built over the years as well. So while I'm not a natural speaker, however, I have taught thousands of students for the past 15 years as a teacher. So this is one of the things that is not necessarily, that does not mean that if let's say you're not a natural speaker, means that you cannot do it forever. So you just need to pick up the courage and take the first step. And eventually you will find that, this is actually what I'm good at. So for some of you, maybe you are not so natural in your academics. You cannot study well, then you can build other hand skills. Or in today's context, you can actually be maybe a YouTuber as well. You can actually teach people how to use certain equipments, or you can teach people how to use certain software. So these are the technologies that we are actually dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So everyone has their own strength, but you have to find yours. It lies deep within you. But if you just lay around and doing nothing, I'm quite sure that you will never be able to find what you are really good at. And of course, my last point for today is this. You need to learn to love yourself. So once again, back to me, when I was a student, I am a very introvert to begin with. I don't like to talk to people. Talking is never my strength. Things don't just flow to me when I talk to people. So I'm not so natural. And as a result of that, I shy myself away from all form of interaction. And probably I just talk to the teacher. Even when I answer a question, I'm also very afraid of saying the wrong thing. So if this happens to you, then I will say that you are not loving yourself. Everyone within us, there is a mirror. This mirror is constantly reflecting how you behave, as well as what are the things that you're able to do and not able to do. So if you are constantly very conscious of this mirror, and you're constantly looking at the way you behave and you are presenting yourself in front of everyone, then you will never be able to step forward to do something different. Because you have, like I said, you have limited yourself and you do not actually think that you are good. But let me put this point to you that every one of us is good. Everyone is good. But it's about finding your strength, knowing what you are good at, and presenting yourself in front of the person or everyone the way that you want them to see you. So this mirror is still within you, but you can also actually reflect and think about what are the things that I want people to see, how to actually move forward and then give the best out of yourself to everyone. Yeah, so this is something that you might not find that is achievable, but in fact it is actually achievable. Okay, so one last point for today's video will be this. Okay, you might not be the best, but you really need to learn to know that you are really the best. Because being the best is, I would say, a very subjective matter. It is not to say that what people think of you, but it's more what you think of yourself. Because once you are confident, once you are able to present yourself to the rest of the people or the rest of the world, you will soon find that this thing about being the best will actually come naturally. Yeah. So this is actually my last point for this video. I hope you like the video and you find it inspirational. And if so, please help me to like and subscribe the video as well as the channel. Thank you very much. I will see you again in the next video.